All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about this Michael Tait situation, which just keeps getting worse, and doing what I do in real time for a few real people just like you there and just like me here. Um, so now the Brentwood Police Department in Nashville, Tennessee, have launched a preliminary investigation into multiple allegations of sexual assault against Michael Tait, who used to be the front man for both the Newsboys and DC Talk. So Tait faces accusations from now a dozen former friends and colleagues who claimed he plied them with drugs and alcohol before assaulting them. The first question I think everybody has for the people around Tait is, why didn't anyone come forward sooner about this? This is heartbreaking to read this stuff. Um, Tait, as you know, probably already issued a public apology in June, admitting recent reports of my destructive behavior, including drug and alcohol abuse and inappropriate sexual conduct, are largely true. So, I mean, that's a pretty strong admission to guilt. But when he talks about abusing drugs and alcohol, he's not talking about how um, he apparently forced others to do this stuff as well. Or, again, and my mom used to always say it takes two to tango. And I don't understand why these people would say, hey, yeah, I'll take those drugs. Sure, I'll use that alcohol. I mean, these are Christians, right? They're supposed to be good people. Yeah, well, we're all a mess, and this is just a messier mess, maybe, than what most people are used to, but we all fall short. Anyway, he goes on to say, I abused cocaine, consumed excessive alcohol, and at times touched men inappropriately. So now we're up to a dozen people, according to the Brentwood Police Department. One alleged victim, his name is Sean David, told People magazine that he is assisting the Brentwood Police Department in building a case against Tait and is pushing for criminal charges, as confirmed by a website called Church Leaders. All right. I don't know what that website is because I've never been there, but they're trying to build a case against Tait, and they're probably going to arrest him at some point. We're doing everything in our power to hold him accountable, according to Sean David. The goal is to see him face justice. We need every victim to come forward. They deserve to know they're not alone and to have their story heard. Yeah, so, people get confused when I talk about God's love, God's forgiveness, God's grace. Because when I talk about that, people think that I'm giving people like a get out of jail free card or something. No, there are definitely consequences for bad behavior, whether it's a small infraction or something insane, like what Tait is being accused of here. By the way, Tait's basically already admitted that he did certain things. And so now these people coming forward, it's a matter of whether they're going to hold him accountable or not for his behavior. Supposedly, he's done some therapy, and we could hope that he's somewhat better than he used to be. But I think the big question throughout this whole ordeal is, if this stuff was going on for like 30 years, why didn't anyone come forward before this? And he basically was the one, supposedly, because he knew all this information was coming out. But back in January, he resigns from the band. These guys didn't suspect anything prior to that. You need to hold, again, the manager of this band accountable, the band members, the current band members. I'm sorry, current band members. I know you're going to say this isn't your fault and you didn't do anything and you didn't know. And wow. I mean, how many people out there were affected by Tait, and you guys were just looking the other way or pretending, no, he couldn't be doing that. I mean, these rumors about Tait were going around 20 years ago, at least 20 years ago. So, in any event, you could still pray for Michael Tait. I think he needs to face justice, though. Absolutely. I mean, people can be forgiven, but people need to be held accountable. And we need to have a society that, you know, punishes people for doing this kind of thing. Because if he's not punished, um, how many more people are going to go out there and try to do this sort of thing and think to themselves, well, you know, I won't get caught because this guy over here, he's a high profile celebrity. He didn't get caught. So maybe my little indiscretion over here, which might not be so little, um, won't be caught. And even if it is, there won't be any repercussions for it. So again, everyone needs prayer in this situation. The victims need prayer the most. People remind me, pray for the victims. Don't pray for Tait. Pray for everybody involved. Pray for it's harder to pray for people you don't want to pray for. But those are the kind of people that need to be prayed for. And God looks at everybody the same way. He is no respecter of persons, and your own personal holiness is like filthy rags to God. It's, you know, we all need to be thankful that Jesus did what he did, because otherwise, folks, we would have no hope whatsoever. Even Michael Tait has hope at this point, but he still needs to face the music, and it seems like the walls are starting to close in. All right, folks. Not a fun report to do, but I figured since I covered this story for a while, I would update people on the Tait situation. Anything more comes to light, I will probably do some content about that. In the meantime, Jesus loves you. There's no catch to this salvation thing. There's you don't have to clean yourself up first. And technically, in some cases, you never have to clean yourself up. You just have to be right with God. And how do you get right with God? You accept his son and the sacrifice that he made for you. That's how you become right with God. It's really not that complicated, but people make it very complicated out here. God bless you, and thanks for watching. See you soon.